Hey guys, here to talk about the competitors program. Firstly, going to give you a bit of feedback on the testing block last week. Firstly, thanks to everyone who did it. Across the board, we got some really complete tests, which gave us a really good idea of where you guys are at. And of course, we talk about this avatar all the time. But basically, what the avatar means is that at the end of the testing week, we can make some general assumptions on what a typical competitor looks like now. Basically, what we do from those results is we take the good, the bad, and we basically build those into the priorities for the next training block. Now, our next training block is actually going to be about 12 to 16 weeks. We've just finished a 12-week peaking structure for the Open, and we've gone into a 5-week competition phase. Now, for some of you who are doing the Asia Championships, we're still kind of in a competition prep phase. So when I talk about the program, you're going to see we're not going to go into a complete rebuilding phase. There will be small touches and everything, but the idea right now is it's time to rebuild and get strong. So, feedback. Firstly, clean relative to your front squat. Kind of got mixed results here across the board. A lot of people were able to clean weights that were very close to their front squat. Having said that, we had a lot of people on the complete other end of the spectrum who had very big front squats and weren't able to clean anywhere near as much as they were front squatting. Now, we have some ratios we're looking for, but one thing we can definitely say is that absolute strength for everyone across the board needs to come up. We're just not strong enough. Front squat to deadlift. Good thing about that is we're balanced, so our squatting mechanics and our squatting strength is where it should be relative to what we can deadlift, so that's a good sign. Strict handstand push-ups, we've been doing a ton of work on this, so it's really good to see that our absolute strength numbers, basically when we're fresh, what we can hit was really good. So seeing people hit some big numbers there, a lot of people get into double digits. Having said that, our strict handstand push-up endurance was quite poor across the board, so big drop-offs after a 2-minute rest. As we know in CrossFit, we need to be able to go deep in big sets, but also be able to repeat that over and over and over and over again. Our kipping efficiency on things like handstand push-ups, chest to bars, toes to bar, was quite poor across the board. Relative to what we were able to do strict on things like strict chest to bars and strict handstand push-ups, our kipping capacity and the reps we were able to do unbroken there weren't really where they should be. So with that said, we do need to work on that, but now is not the time to be doing that. Now is just the time to get strong. Later down the line, we will readdress kipping efficiency, technique, and start to build some capacity there. Single leg scores are really good. Everyone hit their Bulgarian split scores. What I will say though, I think everyone knows this is no surprise, our Sorensen hold and glute ham raise, so our posterior chain tests, were very poor. In fact, of the 3 groups, our Sorensen hold test was actually the worst of all 3 groups. And that's just because it's something we haven't really prioritized. Having said that, you're going to see it in this next block of training. Please make sure if you do miss that session, you're getting your Sorensen hold work in, because it's very important to build structural endurance in our posterior postural muscles. Moving on, as I said, great Open scores. It was really good to see those of you who've done the Open again to be moving up for the majority of us and doing better than we did in previous years. And it's great to see amongst the coastal fitness competitors, our competitors were the top of the pile. So that's a great job, which basically means you're all following the right program. Good remedial scores. So basically, relative to your close grip bench press and your pull-up scores, what we were able to externally rotate and power raise were actually exactly where they needed to be, bar 1 or 2 outliers on that. So that's really good. And what that means is that our structures in our shoulders, our stabilizers in our shoulders, are where they should be relative to how strong our big movers are. So you're not going to see too much remedial type work in our shoulders there. Talk about the next block, your focus. First, you're going to rebuild your squat. A lot of people asking why we're doing such high reps. We're basically going to a rebuilding phase. So this next 4 weeks we're going to be focusing on hypertrophy, which is higher volume, building a muscle tissue, building some big structures. In the next 4 to 6 weeks we'll go into more of a strength phase, so starting to get heavier, and then we'll work towards absolute strength. So that's going to be a 12-week squatting block. So there is science behind the madness with that. Upper body, you're going to see a bit more bodybuilding. Getting after movements like horizontal pressing, horizontal pulling, some dipping work in there again, some heavy pull-up work, stuff that we haven't done for a while. It's really important that we rebuild those structures and balance out our body. We're going to do small touches on the Olympic lifts, but it's not our focus. So twice a week you will see some clean jerk and snatch focus, but the volume's going to be a little bit lower. It's just to keep those movements fresh so you don't forget what we need to do. With regards to energy system training, basically you have 2 days when you do some conditioning work. On Tuesdays, you guys know because you've already done it, you have your more cyclical based work, that you're going to be doing things like assault bike, rowing, intervals that are going to be very progressive over the next 4 weeks. It's all about building a base and rebuilding that base. And on Fridays, you're going to do more mixed modal type work. So mixed modal basically meaning a bunch of stuff kind of put together in an aerobic format. But you're going to see there's going to be a fairly big strength focus in that. A lot of things like wall walking, strict push-ups, strict pull-ups, strict toes to bar. There is a bit of kipping work in there, but the volume's going to be pretty low. You're going to be doing no more than kind of 50 to 60 contractions kipping-wise in a week. The reason for that is just to allow our joints to recover. Yeah, that's about it. Saturday, you're going to see some skill workshops with Shingo. And we're also going to see a team workout. So just to kind of bring a bit of fun and excitement back into our workouts now, after a big serious competitive phase. They will still be challenging, trust me. But Shingo is a gymnast with a gymnastics background. Is going to run some specialist workshops, so make sure you're getting down there. The last thing I will mention is the CSCL Barbell Club. You guys are competitors, should really be looking to always work weaknesses and bring out facets to your games that hold you back. And I think we can agree from our testing and just working with you guys for a long time now, Olympic lifting is probably one of the biggest areas we struggle with. Now we do have obviously a designated service that's targeted at bringing up and improving technique in the snatch, clean and the jerk. Of course you have Cheryl who's willing to work with you guys one-on-one, or if you want to work as a small group you can also set that up as well. Guys, any questions with the next block or testing or feedback on where you think you should be or what you should focus on, please come to me personally. I'll make sure I attach my email in the comment section. Thanks guys, enjoy the training.